If Facebook were around in the 1930s, it would have allowed Hitler to post 30-second ads on his solution to the Jewish problem.
So this speech went viral. I heard it, and I immediately disagreed with it. Respectfully. Sasha Cohen says that if Facebook were around in the 1930s, then Hitler could have ran 30-second ads to solve the Jewish problem. However, the Holocaust did happen, and it happened in the absence of Facebook. So what he's saying is, if Facebook were around, then the Holocaust would have happened. But it did happen. Here's what I think. If Facebook were around in the 1930s, then there could have been 30-second ads, not to solve the Jewish problem, but to solve the Hitler problem. That's why it's good to have multiple media outlets and not just 1, 2, or 3 state-run networks. This is the Charles Frank Show.
Instead of letting the Silicon Six decide the fate of the world, let our elected representatives, voted for by the people of every democracy in the world, have at least some say.
And here is where he loses me again. You see, he says that the Silicon Six, they decide what we see. However, most of his 24-minute speech is saying that the Silicon Six, or at least the executives, or at least the moderators that were hired by the executives, should be regulating the content on here. So he's totally going away from his main argument. And now he's saying that maybe the elected officials should decide what we see. Now, I don't know about you, but it sounds like a bad idea to let elected officials decide what we see about them on these platforms. If anything, that sounds like 1930s Germany. I'm just saying.
Zuckerberg tried to portray this whole issue as choices around free expression. That is ludicrous.
No, it's not.
This is not about limiting anyone's free speech.
Sounds like it is.
This is about giving people, including some of the most reprehensible people on Earth, the biggest platform in history to reach a third of the planet.
Just stick to the major news networks because they have your best interests in mind.
Freedom of speech is not freedom of reach.
It literally is, though.
Abide by basic standards and practices, just like newspapers, magazines, and TV news do every day.
I don't really have to say anything on that one. You know what I'm going to say.
And after years of YouTube videos calling climate change a hoax, the United States is on track a year from now to formally withdraw from the Paris Accords.
So from my understanding, when Donald Trump pulled out, he also gave a speech saying that he didn't pull out because climate change isn't real. He pulled out because other countries like China and India weren't living up to their part of the deal, and that the effect of the Paris agreements would only have the smallest minuscule effect after 10 years of getting the Celsius down just a little bit, and that we were wasting millions and millions of dollars by putting a Band-Aid on a shark bite, which is man-made climate change. That's just what I heard.
Mark Zuckerberg asked, where do you draw the line? Yes, drawing the line can be difficult. But here's what he's really saying. Removing more of these lies and conspiracies is just too expensive.
Facebook's got so much money that they're making television shows with no subscription needed to watch them. By the way, they're awesome. You should check it out. On Facebook Watch, there's like 20 different shows, and it's all for free. I just watched Limetown, and it's amazing, highly produced. I can't believe it. I can't believe how much money this company has to be able to do that, and it's all for free. I digress. But it wouldn't be expensive to fix this problem if they wanted to. That's what I'm trying to say.
These are the richest companies in the world, and they have the best engineers in the world. They could fix these problems if they wanted to.
Oh, that's just what I said. I thought you were saying the opposite. But now we're in agreement. Okay, all right.
Twitter could deploy an algorithm to remove more white supremacist hate speech.
Okay, here we go. Twitter.com. Hateful conduct policy. Hateful conduct. You may not promote violence against or directly attack or threaten other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, caste, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. We also do not allow accounts whose primary purpose is inciting harm towards others on the basis of these categories.
Social media repeated many of the conspiracy theories that President Trump, using Twitter, has spread more than 1,700 times to his 67 million Twitter followers. The president even tweeted that he was considering designating Antifa, who are anti-fascists, who march against the far right, as a terror organization.
Definitely not a terror organization, but definitely people with bad intentions. Here's a video of Antifa chasing a father and daughter back to their car.
Get in the bush, bitch!
Here's a video of Antifa harassing a 90-year-old couple that just wanted to cross the street. Here's Antifa beating up a reporter.
The ultimate aim of society should be to make sure that people are not targeted, not harassed, and not murdered because of who they are, where they come from, who they love, or how they pray.
And here's a picture of the injuries of the reporter after he was targeted for his political affiliations. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all social media platforms, they already do their best to get rid of blatant and obvious hate speech. You know, get rid of the scum of the earth type people. However, speeches like these, they really look like a ploy to get rid of the content that might convince you to think another way that doesn't align with their points of views. That's what I'm seeing. And as Sasha Baron Cohen would say,
but they have reportedly haven't, because it would eject some very prominent politicians from their platform. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing.
And that, my friends, is what this argument is all about. This is the Charles Frank Show.
Thank you very much.